estimate at completion. The question is, what is estimate at completion? Estimate at completion is really how much do I anticipate, or how much do I forecast that I would have spent by the end of this project. That's all it's asking you for. So in layman's terms, EAC can be looked at as how much have I spent and how much more do I need to spend to get the project done, and that's where we talk about ETC. So the question, I'll just put the full meaning here, estimate at completion. Lots of people incorrectly refer to this as estimate at complete. It's not estimate at complete, it's estimate at completion. That would be AC plus ETC. So I think the big question that many people have is, what is ETC? ETC is estimate to complete. And AC, as you know, is actual cost. So let me show you a quick example here. Make this a little bit smaller. So take, for example, we're working on a project, right? We've spent $50. That means our actual cost is $50, right? And let's say your boss comes to you and says, how much more money do you need to get this project done? I know you spent $50. How much more money do you need? That's when you're going to tell him, oh, our estimate to complete, which is how much more money we need, is $150. Your boss is going to say, okay, so are you telling me that we need $200? You're going to be like, yeah, that's what I'm telling you. So he's going to say, okay, estimate at completion is 150 plus 50. Is that what you're really saying? Yeah, that's what I mean. But your boss isn't going to stop there. Do you know what he's going to do? He's going to look at what you told him originally, which is your budget at completion, which is really called your budget, or also known as your baseline. Other people who are in the know would refer to this as the cost performance baseline, right? Because they know that over time you're meant to spend a particular amount of money, and in total you're meant to spend, you know, that huge sum. So he's going to go back to your budget, right, or your baseline, which is also known as BAC, right? Budget at completion. Your budget at completion is just your budget for the project, that's all. So your boss is going to go back and he's going to look at your BAC and he's going to be like, well, at the beginning of this project you told me you were only going to spend 175. Why are you telling me you're going to spend 200 now? You're going to be like, oh well, you know, there were some overruns and we weren't able to come in at the prices that we thought we would, or the cost we thought we would, for this particular aspect of the project. So it's going to be like, are you absolutely sure that this is all you need to complete the project now? Just $200 and you'll be done? And you say yes. Your boss then says, alright, let's find out what our variance at completion is. What is the variance at completion of the project going to be compared to, you know, of course it was $175 for the whole thing at the beginning. Now you're telling me it's $200. Okay, what's the variance at completion? Your VAC is BAC minus EAC. That's your variance at completion. In this case, your variance at completion will be 175 minus 200. And that means you're going to have a variance. Don't forget the dollar sign and the negative sign. You're going to have a variance of $25. That's all that means. So that's your variance at completion. Of course, you can always get your ETC from up here in this formula, where we've got EAC is equal to AC plus ETC. You can always get your ETC calculated from that formula. Okay, so that's all for variance at completion, budget at completion, and all the other metrics. If we really wanted to go deeper into this stuff, we'll begin to talk about EAC, ETC, EV, all those metrics for different aspects or different timelines in the project. But that's not the purpose of this discussion. This is just a quick refresh showing you the formulas, the equations, the concepts. And you know, let me just be honest with you, on the exam, on the real PMP exam, you're not going to have a whole boatload of formula type questions. I don't know why people get the impression that they're going to have hundreds and hundreds of formula questions and they get all worked up, you know, over the formulas. You don't have to get all worked up. Know what you know, but you do need to concentrate more on the analysis and the thought processing behind what those formulas actually do for you. Otherwise, you could know how to solve problems and still do very poorly on the exam. So when we get back, we're going to talk about the 2 complete performance index. You know, you've got variance of this, you've got it for the BAC, and you've got it for EAC. If you go to the PMBOK guide, 4th edition, go to chapter 7, in the control costs aspect, we talk about TCPI. You might want to open up your PMBOK guide, take a quick look, and before I let you go though, let me inform you that you've got different formulas for EAC. That is one thing that we need to talk about when we come back. We'll look at the different formulas for EAC, and then we'll talk about TCPI.